It's a love story that takes place in the aftermath of World War I. It's about an American who came to France during World War I and has stayed on after the war's over to help the priest of the Diocese of Verdun to build this thing called the Dumont Ossuary. And one of his jobs is to help collect all the thousands of bones that have been left on the battlefield. But another part of his work is to help counsel the families of the missing soldiers that come to Verdun looking for closure or information about a lost or missing loved one. And it's in that part of his work that he meets a young American woman named Sarah Hagen, who has come looking for her missing husband. California seemed appropriate in a couple of different ways. Number one, it was about as far in the United States as you could get physically from what had happened, from the European setting, just in pure miles. But also in the mood of it, right? The Verdun that I describe in the book is these, crumbling buildings and bones and, this real sort of sense of dreariness. Whereas California, especially, 75 years ago, none of that's there. It's this new place full of sunshine and palm trees and the Pacific Ocean, with no memory. So it seemed very appropriate in that way as a counterpoint, just in the mood. But even more important than that is the fact that it's Hollywood. And Hollywood is in the same business, or kind of, I think, works in the same mechanism that that some of the people in the aftermath of the war, thinking about, in the Magin story, all these people mapping their desires onto this missing person, right? Telling themselves the story that they want to hear about the identity of this person. And I think that's very much what Hollywood, especially studio era Hollywood, was doing. It was kind of telling America the story that America wanted to hear about itself. And so it seemed very appropriate in that way too. This one I think is a pretty muted love triangle. I think one thing that is hopefully interesting about it is that all three of these characters, though they do probably have legitimate feelings for each other, all those feelings are kind of take place under false pretenses. They are, much like everything else in the book, you could read them as actual affection and love, or you could read it as just a kind of displacement of other desires.